At the rabbi's headquarters in Johannesburg, a team of volunteers gather the threads of South African Jewish country life in words and pictures. A valuable resource for researchers and historians, and a legacy for future generations. Meanwhile, in between trips to the field, the rabbi gets set to take his turn in the spotlight.
So maybe it gives me great honor to present an award to someone who in fact is serving our community through the Community Service Award. The award for community service is Rabbi Moshe Silberhaft.
At the Jewish Achievers Awards in Johannesburg, Rabbi Moshe is honored for his work in the field.
Reflecting on my 17 years as spiritual leader to the country communities of South Africa, and later the African Jewish Congress, I learned this, that the flip side of the wise coin, just as it is forbidden for an individual to separate him or herself from the community, it is an obligation on the leaders, lay leaders or professionals of the community to reunite others with community, not to create the conditions that result in or perpetuate separation. They, my dear friends, are a remnant which still remains in the country towns of southern Africa, whether it comprises a tiny farming community, a businessman or a professional and his family, or a lone Jew left to his or her own devices in the Gamadulus. For the past 17 years, I have endeavored to shepherd this far-flung flock back into the fold of Yiddishkeit, both those who find themselves literally far from the community and those who need guidance to shepherd them back into the community through spiritual leadership, which involves my regular visits and attending to life cycle events of the Jew, which are from cradle to the grave. I don't judge my congregants if they drive on Shabbat, they don't eat kosher, keep their businesses open, or even if they're married out of the faith. Sure, I encourage them to become more involved and observant. As you saw, I transport kosher food, put on mezuzahs, encourage the ladies to put on tefillin, to light Shabbos candles, men to put on tefillin. You're listening. I thought it's late. It's a test to see if you're listening. However, my dear friends, a Jew is a Jew. The sad reality is that within the next probably 10 to 15 years, the country communities will dwindle to almost no Jewish presence whatsoever. Historically, in over 1,500 centers or towns, Jews established themselves at one time or another. Today, there are probably just under 130 towns or railway sidings or farms where Jews actually live, either individuals or in groups. What we'll be left with is old synagogues, there's Jewish cemeteries, Jewish street names.
And so the road goes on, leading the way to other people, other places, other points on the map. The rabbi with the biggest flock in the country does not count numbers, but he knows the name of almost every Jew in almost every small town he visits. He lives and he's driven by a simple pledge, that no Jew shall be forgotten. For Rabbi Moshe Silberhaft, this is more than a job, more than a calling, more than a responsibility. This is the country he calls home, and this is his covenant.